You don't need to have things figured out at a young age. I know society puts so much pressure on young people to have their life figured out at like 20, 25 years old. I remember going into my, late teens, being whatever, 17, 18 years old, and I was supposed to figure things out by that age of what I wanted to do for the rest of my life, right? I'm pretty sure a lot of people, maybe who are watching me, are in the same position. You are graduating high school soon and you don't know what you should be doing. College, what you want to study, maybe take a year off. Your parents, your teachers, people who are older in your life, they're not wrong. They are supposed to guide you. They're supposed to worry about you and tell you like, hey, you're becoming an adult and you want to focus more on your future and your life. What do you want to do for the rest of your life? But they're basing their reality, they're basing their advice on their life and how they were taught, right? Because when they were younger, like your parents, let's say your parents are in their 40s, their parents told them that, hey, you should have kids by like 25. Because their parents told them the same thing. People back in the day used to die earlier. They used to die sooner, right? So this notion of having a family, having, a house, having all these things figured out in your like mid 20s is ludicrous in 2025, okay? I'm 25 years old and I don't have things figured out myself. I talk to my friends who are my age. So many people are living with their parents. So many people who have a full-time job after getting a college university degree, like studying for 4 years, they cannot afford to live on their own. And if they do afford to live on their own, they are, either having roommates, they're having like a small studio, they don't have a car. And so life changed over the last 10, 20 years. And so whatever was acceptable back in the day is not really a thing in 2025 and moving forward. When you're in your 60s back in the day, you were considered old. Like that's it. You're a retired person. You are basically just enjoying your last, 10, 20 years of life, just chilling, right? But nowadays, if you're 65 years old, that's not old. That is not old at all. So many people nowadays, have jobs, have careers, have so many things going on in their 70s. Like they don't feel old and retired. They're still living their life. If you're watching me and you're younger, I'm 25. If you're 20, 19, unless you get sick or something bad happens, your life expectancy when you get older is going to be higher than your parents when they get older, right? Medicine is going to improve, all this technology is going to improve, so you essentially have more time on this earth than your parents. And so let's say back in the day, whatever was acceptable to have by your 20s, nowadays that's 30, 35. So old 20s is the new 30s, if that makes sense. Because so many people don't have their life figured out in their 20s nowadays, and that's totally normal. That's the new reality. Looking at my example, right? After high school, I went to university. I'm from Ukraine, and so I moved to Canada when I was 9. And in my culture, you kind of have to get a higher education. It was my parents' dream for me to go to university. That's why they moved to Canada, for a better life for me. And so I went to university. My first year, I thought I was going to do computer science and arts degree, okay? Because arts is my passion, YouTube, social media, making videos, being creative, that's my passion. And then computer science more for like a job in the future. I did that for 3 months. I took 4 courses in my first semester and I failed 2. I've only passed 2 courses out of the 4. I failed computer science and math in my first semester of university. And yeah, I was pretty sad. I was pretty down bad at that time because I hated what I was doing. I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life, and all this pressure was just, eating at me because I wanted to do YouTube. I didn't really, do YouTube or anything like that, in terms of for a living or made money-ish from this stuff. So I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. And then I tried to do, I think I went into economics right after and psychology. I did a bit of business as well, some business electives here and there, but I ended up doing a major in economics and a minor in psychology for my degree. Basically, things really shift, and now I'm doing social media for a living, right? So I wanted to do computer science, arts, business, and then I ended up doing economics and psychology, but I'm doing social media. I'm not even using my degrees. So life is just moving so fast. And you just have to like live in the present moment and adapt. I don't know what I'll be doing in the future, okay? You may think I have things figured out, and I really don't. I'm a human being and I also worry about my future. I'm also not sure how this social media thing is gonna be in the future, you know? I used to make a lot of content, a lot of videos, a lot of, little me skits, as people watching on this channel probably know, but now I'm focusing more on live streaming on TikTok, and that's been going very well for me, but I don't know what the future holds. I wouldn't be surprised if I'm doing something completely different in a year from now. The moral of this video is that if you're young, please don't put too much pressure on yourself, okay? Please. Life changes all the time, and you just have to be able to adapt to that change. Be adaptable and expect changes to happen in your life. And you want changes. Whatever you're doing now, school, work, things are going to change. Your current situation is now permanent, I guarantee you. If somebody told me I'd be doing things I'm doing now like 6 months ago, I'd be like, are you kidding me? There's no way. If somebody told me you were not going to be filming Little Me videos in 2025, I'd be like, are you kidding me? But guess what? Now we're here. I want to make more videos like these where I talk about life and different things that people are dealing with. I'm assuming a lot of people who watch me are younger than me. So if you have any questions, anything you want me to address and talk about, any like pressures, friends being mean to you, like some school issues, I don't know, parents not understanding you, whatever else, just let me know in the comments. We can talk about it. I want these videos to be more chill, or we just chat about life and we just have, kind of this connection, Leave a like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Anyways, I'll see you guys later. Take care.